Kubfu has been the star of the Might and Mastery season, and will soon be able to evolve it into Urshifu. But how good are Urshifu's two different forms, and which is better? We're breaking both of them down, both so you can decide which you want to evolve it into, and know which is better in terms of something like their future Gigantamax forms, so let's get into it. Welcome back, everyone. Now, Urshifu's two forms have the exact same stats, but have different subtypings and movesets. The Rapid Strike form is a fighting and water type, whereas the Single Strike form is a fighting dark type. Let's start off with the Rapid Strike form in PvP. For fast moves, it has Rock Smash, Counter, and Waterfall, along with Brick Break, Aqua Jet, Close Combat, and Dynamic Punch for charged moves. Generally, its best PvP moveset would be Counter alongside Aqua Jet and either Close Combat or Dynamic Punch. Close Combat is obviously stronger at 100 power in PvP, but Dynamic Punch is still respectable at 90 power and has no defense debuff unlike Close Combat. With Aqua Jet getting a nice buff this season, it's great to have a strong and cheap water charged move. However, in the lower two leagues, Rapid Strike Urshifu isn't that impressive, mostly due to it being a pretty glassy choice, but it's really just a harder hitting, but overall worse fighting water type than something like Poliwrath. In the Master League though, it's a different story. While it's not outstanding, obviously losing hard to Fairy types, Ghost types, and a few others like Palkia Origin and Zygarde, it's still able to threaten a lot of strong meta picks like Yveltal, White Kyurem, Dialga, and Rhyperior. I think it would pair really well with something like Duskmane or Primarina. But moving over to the Single Strike form though, the Dark type Urshifu holds all the same fighting attacks as the previous form, but with Sucker Punch in place of Waterfall and Payback in place of Aqua Jet. Now Sucker Punch is better than Counter in PvP, with its higher energy gain with the same power, so it's already off to a stronger start. Single Strike Urshifu would want Sucker Punch alongside Brick Break to give it a cheaper charged move that debuffs the opponent, but from there, it's viable with any of its other charged moves. Like I mentioned, Close Combat is higher power but debuffs you, and Dynamic Punch is a tad weaker but safer. I would personally opt for one of those two, as Urshifu will get a good amount of Dark type damage out with Sucker Punch, but if you wanted more Dark type pressure, Payback can make for a nice choice. Single Strike Urshifu isn't phenomenal in the lower two leagues, but it's definitely more usable than Rapid Strike here. In the Ultra League, it does excel against Ghost, Steel, and other Dark types, which is nice, but many of the common Ultra League Pokemon like Malamar, Tentacruel, Virizion, and pretty much any Fairy type give it a hard time. But I'd say it's still worth considering though. It's not as bulky as Scrafty, but it has a lot of pressure, especially with Sucker Punch. I think the Master League is its best place once again, where Single Strike Urshifu has a very nice win rate and threatens more than the Rapid Strike form, handling both Necrozma forms, both Kyurem forms, Dialga, Rhyperior, and more. But obviously, the big downside to the Single Strike form is that Fairy types annihilate it, and it doesn't have the tools to hit Pokemon like Ho-Oh and Landorus, where Rapid Strike at least had Aqua Jet. There's also the fact that some of the wins it gets are only due to baiting, often requiring you to debuff the opponent's defense and bait a shield with Brick Break, and hit them unshielded with one of the nuke moves. I think it'll absolutely be something you can fit into your team, but I would be very cautious about any Fairy types and just how you play it in general. So overall, these two are Master League Pokemon more than anything, and both pretty good, but if I were leaning toward one, I'd probably say Single Strike is better, but there is a case for either. Moving on to the rating side of things, both Urshifu share the same stats and the same fighting moveset of Counter plus Dynamic Punch, which is a great one. It has a nice attack stat, but it's not going to be overwhelmingly powerful. They surpass fighting types like Machamp and Conkeldurr, but they're still behind top attackers like Lucario, Terrakion, plus the Shadows and Megas. Still, it's a good attacker. But now we move over to Dynamax, where we'll look at both its Dynamax and Gigantamax forms. As a fighting max attacker, Dynamax Urshifu will be stronger than Dynamax Machamp, but Machamp's G-Max form will still sit at the top. Dynamax Single Strike Urshifu will be the top Dark Max attacker, mostly because we don't have many right now. And Dynamax Rapid Strike Urshifu will be ahead of both Blastoise and Kingler, but it'll also still be behind G-Max Kingler and Dynamax Inteleon. But what about their Gigantamax forms? We aren't getting those at the moment, but I figured it'd be a good idea to look at each for when they do come around. The single strike form's G-Max will remain undefeated as a Dark Max attacker. It would take a Dark type with over 327 attack to dethrone it, which currently doesn't exist. Though, that said, Gigantamax Gengar with its Ghost typing is stronger than it, and Ghost and Dark are often used for the same thing. In comparison, the Rapid Strike G-Max is a little less fortunate though. While it'll definitely be strong, better than anything we currently have for Water Max attackers, Gigantamax Inteleon will eventually arrive and overthrow it. So overall, both Urshifu forms are quite viable, but if you had to choose one, I would personally opt for the Single Strike form, as it offers a more unique role for it in PvP, while being a safer investment in max battles. But down in the comments below, let me know what your thoughts are on Urshifu. Are you going to evolve yours into one of its forms, or maybe are you going to wait until it's tradable, so you can maybe lucky trade it with a friend? Let us know in the comments below. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming videos. We'll have an analysis for the crowned forms of Zacian and Zamazenta in time for GoFest, so stay tuned for that. Until then though, thanks so much for watching, and best of luck with evolving your Urshifu. Take care.